Okay, let me go ahead and get my PowerPoint pulled up. I don't know, this may not be a full hour, you guys, but there's going to be a lot of really great work time where you're going to be able to okay, Joe, I see you. You're the only one I see. If anything gets funky, let me know. I think that this is going to be a really great 60 minutes or less that hopefully you're going to walk away from this feeling completely different about your retention, maybe feeling more confident in it, because we're going to be really focusing on your specific retention system. So when you think about retention, I want us to not just think, retention obviously is retaining the customers that you have added into the Plexus products, into the business. I don't want you to think about retention as just checking in on customers. I want you to think about helping people experience success. One of the things that I like to think about when I'm helping my customers is, these people could go to Walmart. They could go to Target. They could go to somebody else, a different Plexus ambassador. They could go online and pay a little bit more on Amazon. But what makes it important for me to support them is that I can help them have an incredible experience. I can help support them. I can help care for them. I can help help them not feel like they're doing this on their own. Because how many of you, like, put a one in the comments if you have ever gone to Walmart and bought a bottle of vitamins and they sat in your pantry or in your shelf, like basically untouched because you used them one time and then you just kind of forgot about them. And you didn't have somebody from that supplement company calling you and checking in to see how you were doing. You just kind of forgot about it and then you threw it away. I think so many of us have. And so I think for me, I take pride in when someone comes to me or somebody's ready to get started on the products, my goal is for them to feel so loved, so supported, and so seen. And I believe in that. That creates a really special experience for them. And they're paying me to help them with that. They're paying these for these products, and it's allowing me to like get bonuses and to grow and help my family with our paycheck. And that's the least that I can do. So to me, that is what retention should look like, how we should approach retention. So let's have just a little popcorn. I am genuinely curious. What has helped you or what has made you stay with Plexus? Let's unmute. A few of you unmute. What has made you stay with Plexus? And it doesn't matter if it's with the products, with the business. I would like to hear. I'll start. I go to the bathroom now all the time. That's one on the product side, which I didn't used to. And then on the business side, we make a ton of money that allows us to stay home with our children. Those are two of the reasons I stay. Unmute yourself and share with why you've stayed with Plexus.
Mine is because I got my products paid for. If I hadn't, I wouldn't been able to afford them and I wouldn't have stayed consistent long enough to get the results that I got that made me believe in the products.
Yes.
A big one for me is I'm no longer lactose intolerant after being that way for 30 years. Um, and I know it's crazy. And then, of course, the people. I really genuinely love so many people that I've met. And that is the only thing bringing me to convention. I am looking forward to it so much.
Yes. Community, results on the products. Joe saying she got her products paid for that allowed her to not feel guilty ordering them every month.
I think for me, the products are definitely something that keeps me coming back. And vision casting, seeing all of you guys who are at the top of our company financially doing well. I'm a single mom of 8 kids, and I have a vision of what I want my family to look like. And right now, I work 2 full-time teaching jobs, and I'm just managing to keep my head above water. And so hearing and watching the Diamond Docs and just seeing
Yeah.
the possibility of what Plexus can give you is so inspiring to me. I do believe, and even from the beginning, that I will become a diamond in our company. And I believe that I have the potential to do that, and I
Absolutely.
could see myself achieving that, and so it just keeps me going.
I love that. So we're hearing vision, we're seeing like inspiration from other people's stories. We're seeing just like these big goals and belief in yourself that you can do this. Again, the products are keeping people. Maybe one more. What has made you stay with Plexus?
I will say that you guys have hit it all. I resonate with the single mama. Our youngest is in the bathtub right now, as you can hear. Community. And as Lauren said, going to convention and seeing other people, meeting new people. And then, maybe I think too, what I've really loved about this is it's helping me to become a leader. I want to be able to lead people well, not in a authoritarian way, but in a loving way, come alongside somebody. So that's mine.
And you're so good at that, Brooke. She just went silver, and even before she went silver, she like signed as was it right before you went silver? You signed up for convention? Yeah, yeah, you had already signed up. You hadn't even signed anybody, and she
No.
signed up for convention. I mean, what a gift. What a gift. All right, thank you guys. All right, so ultimately, people exactly what you guys just shared. People are going to stay when they feel supported, when they feel successful, like on the products or, bringing in that income, when they feel connected. You guys mentioned the community, when they feel seen and when they feel hopeful of what this could be for their health or what this could be for, their family. So I think we have to keep that in mind when we're sitting here and brainstorming our retention, how we want to show it for the people who have trusted us to help lead them, like Brooke said, to lead these people well. We want them to feel supported, successful, connected, seen, and hopeful. So hopefully tonight, we can kind of brainstorm some ways for you guys to walk away from tonight's call, having those things, kind of having a system for those things. So with retention, we've heard a lot of times people say retention, retention, retention is what? Relationship, relationship, relationship. And I think that's very true. But I also, as much as I love people, if I'm paying $200 a month and I'm not seeing results or I don't feel like I'm going to get results, I love you, but I can't spend that extra $200. So yes, it is about relationships, but it is also about the results and the support. So, with relationship, those three things we just talked about, relationship, results, and support. Relationship simply is like you're checking in on people, you're listening, you're trustworthy, you're supporting these people. Results, I really like this little tidbit that we have written in here because I think a lot of times people might see the before and after pictures of somebody who's dropped, 32 pounds, and somebody might buy the products and they might be inconsistent, or maybe they are consistent but it's just not been enough time, but they're not seeing like the weight that's coming off. But we need to help them see the other results because so often you have people that are having results with less cravings, better digestion, better sleep, less inflammation, more energy, better mood, hormonal balance, all those things. But it's like on their brain is the weight loss. And so they might miss those other things. And those are really big results. So, just a side note, take note of this if this is not something that you ask regularly. But when I sign new people and it's in their first, couple weeks, I will often say something along the lines of like, are you noticing any changes yet in your sleep, your energy, your digestion, your mood, or your cravings? Like I've just memorized those 5 things: sleep, digestion, energy, mood, or cravings. Again, none of that is about weight loss or inches lost, but those are tangible results that people often see in the beginning of being on these products. So we have to help them see that they are actually having results. And then supporting is through like maybe product education, maybe communication, some sort of community. You're communicating well with these people so that way they feel that support from you. So without our customers, we cannot have a business. And I don't know about you guys, but recruiting and enrolling people, that takes a lot of work. And I don't want to just be on a spinning wheel where I'm constantly recruiting every month and those people are in and out the door all the time. I want to retain my customers because I want a stable business. Like retention systems that we're going to work through tonight are going to help your people. One, it's going to help you. Having a retention system is going to help you. And two, it's going to help your customers feel all of those things that we want them to feel: cared for, successful, educated, connected, and supported. So let's get busy creating your solid retention system. When I think about building our retention system, I think about three things. I would love for you guys to pipe up if you think about other things with your system that I don't have highlighted here. But with a retention system, I'm thinking about when they join. So how do I welcome them well? What does that system look like? When they're on the products, how do I check in with them? What does that system look like for me? And then how do I create a system where they have an incredible experience, where they're feeling connected, we're a part of a community? Does anybody have anything else that I didn't tap in here that when you're thinking about retention, like a system that would be important for you outside of these three things? You want to think about systems as a way to be an easy duplication to people who join your team, who want to start sharing. So this is something that you're creating for yourself that you can pass down to other people easily. Otherwise, it gets in the weeds and it gets overwhelming, and you're trying to explain the same thing over and over to all these people. But if you can have this clear system, it's going to be smooth sailing. So let's start with the welcome system. We're going to spend a couple of minutes on these three different things: the welcome, the check-in, and then that just overall retention experience. But with our welcome system, I want you to ask yourself, like, what's going to be something that every new customer receives? I know when I started nine and a half years ago, I created an email. And in the email, I just have, like, what to expect. Well, one, it's like, I'm so thankful that they're here, kind of introducing myself, sharing a little bit of my story to hopefully instill some hope for them. And then I will share, your products are going to arrive soon. Like, get in touch with me and I'll help you get started. But here's what you can expect. And have like a little video, like a short video that they can watch to show them like what to expect with the products. I think I talked about, like, I have a video for detox, like a very short video for detox. I talk about our community and here's how you can get plugged into our, testimonial page where you can see different education on the products and you can see recipes and you can see, well, Brooke Hicks, how are you drawing on my my PowerPoint?
Sorry, I just tried to paint it in so that I zoomed it in. So I'm sorry, I don't know how I did that.
I'm impressed. I love it. It's like a little alien. And so anyways, I just have this email that I created, but you guys, I'm going to be working on this with you guys tonight because I did this 9 years ago and I kind of think it might be too long. And so I'm going to go and I'm going to brainstorm, how can I create this email that I can just copy and paste to every new customer that I have that's going to help them feel successful. And so I put on here, down below, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I have like a chat prompt. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of chat prompts. So I put on here, help me create a warm, encouraging email to send to all of my new clients I help with my Plexus business. My goal is to blank. And so I put in parentheses here, like, well, my goal is to help them feel excited, hopeful, supported, clear on expectations, and be set up for success. So you can fill in that blank. But with what your hope is for this email, this connection that every one of your new customers will receive. So we're going to spend about let's see, what time is it? Yeah, well, let's spend about 10 minutes where we're going to just craft our own email that we're going to send to every new customer. Email, message, whatever. Sound good? Everybody feel good about that? We'll start the timer. If you have any questions, please unmute yourself or please go into the chat. But 10 minutes, let's start crafting up what your welcome is to every new customer that you can copy and paste. And here we go. Yes, Jan, I can. And yes, Gina, I can. Jan, it might take me a minute because my assistant sends them out now. So I haven't actually sent them myself for probably 8 years. So I might have to look at that. But hold, please. Okay, that's been 10 minutes. Seems like people are still working, but I just for the flow of the call, put a pin in what you're working on. And I would love for one or two of you to just share, like, how was that for you? Do you kind of feel like this was helpful? Is this something that maybe excites you? Maybe something you've not done before? I know I just asked you 15 questions at one time, but basically just somebody talk to me about like how this was for you and how you're walking away from this past 10 minutes.
Well, I can step in and talk. I had an email that I used when I first started, and I'll be honest, I kind of forgot about it. I don't know if it just my habit had stopped, my
Yeah.
consistency with it. And so this was really good because I had to go in, freshen it up because I had the perks in there, but now it's a different name and
Mhm.
some things like that. And I had to change the time that I've been using the products and the time I've been sharing. So it was really good to update. And I think I need to go back to that and using
Sweet.
that again.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like we will create all of this stuff and
Mhm.
it's really good. But because we've created so much, it's like creation overload and we just forget. Okay, Gina, you mentioned that you had one in the past, but it felt a little bit like information overload. Totally understand. That's how mine was too. Was this helpful for you to kind of like peel back and like simplify a little?
Yeah, and I was able to like format it in a way that was like um, bullet points, more I don't know, shortened, not just so rambling. I felt like when I look back at the one I used to use, it was really just just too much information and not like to the point. So I felt like this kind of helped uh, make it more concise and to the point.
Yeah, I think that that is really thoughtful and something that I'm still like working through on. I want to give great information. I don't want them to feel overwhelmed, but I also kind of like having a hub for them to go to. So I don't know what that looks like. Maybe it is a short video for each thing I want to talk on that they can click on, for what to expect or how to get started on your products or, just something short so you can still have it in there, but it doesn't feel like a lot of overwhelm with text. So I would say, I've seen Lacey do this and I'm sure others have too. I know Joanna probably has, Kim maybe has, but if there is a need that you have, like, I want to have a YouTube video link that I could share over detox or what to expect or whatever, I encourage you to go create one. Or if like, okay, Lauren Farmer is really good with like troubleshooting or like working through detox. So I might ask her if she'd want to partner with me and we could like do a little video together. She could do a video over that and I could do a video over something that I feel confident in and we can share each other's videos. Like we've got this community here for a reason. So I'm encouraging you to just kind of just get creative and just think through what would help you as you're starting something like Plexus? What would you like to see? What would you like to receive? And it might just be super short, or it might be in depth with some clickable links. So keep working on that. Not right now. We're going to move on to the next thing, but keep looking into that, working on that. So that way you can feel confident and have that as part of your system. Okay, so now let's go. We went through the welcome system, what to do when you have a brand new person that joins, and hopefully you'll get to a place with this email, this content that you've created that, when your level one signs somebody, you could maybe send that email out, or your level five send somebody or sign somebody, you can send that to that person. So that way they just have another point of contact and another third party tool. Check-in system. This one I think is super important for our retention because this is helping our people feel supported, and to see those results. So for this check-in system, you can do it however you want. You can go and look in my team page, you can look in Joanna's team page, and there are so many different systems for check-ins that people have created, that we've got posted, we've got pinned in our pages, that you can go use as inspiration if you want. But I share that with you to say, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be this one set shop. Like, it has to be a certain way. It needs to be what's going to be simple and sustainable for you. And so I want you to be thinking as you're kind of working on your check-in system. You have signed me. I just ordered my products. How are you going to check in on me regularly so that way I have a great experience and I feel connected, I feel supported, and you don't feel overwhelmed? So some questions that you can be asking yourself. When will you follow up with your new people? How will you track your customers? How will you help people notice wins? How will you support discouraged customers? Those are all really important things that you need to be thinking through, because that is going to happen with your customers. So I put together this little chat prompt that you guys can use. Jan, if you don't mind, I saw that you were able to send that to Gina in the chat. If you don't mind maybe doing the same in the chat here. But this is just a simple one I threw together real quick. Give me a simple system I can follow and duplicate down for my check-ins with my new customers. I don't want to lose people, and I want them to feel supported, encouraged, and see wins. Now, you can totally change up that prompt with something specific, like help me to not let any of my customers fall through the cracks, as I am a busy mom who works 2 full-time jobs and has 8 kids, but I want my people to feel seen, supported, and have results. You can personalize it, but let's play around with this. And what you can do too is I like to have just my calendar. And so you could even like have a calendar in front of you to say, okay, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And you can even like type in, just like what you would say, kind of a prompt that you would send over to your person as you're checking in each week. So that way you can copy and paste over to them. So we're going to just go grab a Google Doc if you want, or however you did your welcome system, making note of that. Do that for this check-in system on how you're going to help stay on top of your customers. Okay, so that was 10 minutes. I don't want anybody to share all the specific details of what you just worked through, but I would like for somebody or a few of you to share um, maybe some updates that you've made, like something that you feel like just I hate these questions. I don't know how to ask them. Somebody help me out here. I want somebody to share maybe some changes that they made to this check-in system that makes it feel like, oh, I can totally do this.
Emily, I'll go. I literally stopped doing the check-in system that I was doing for a couple of years, mainly because it was built for 90 days. And I just felt like when I checked in for the full 90 days, I felt like it was way too long. Um, and then by that point, I was like, okay, they're probably getting really tired of getting these texts from me. And so I stopped doing it altogether, and I planned to put something together, but I just never did. So I've just been kind of keeping in contact with people and touching base with them. But what I love, so I just asked it to give me the first 30 days. Um, and what I loved is kind of what it did for Gina's email. It gave me a lot, what day to do that, to do each check-in. And it's great. Instead of asking, how are you feeling? What's one good thing that you noticed this week? And then give examples of what you did. Better energy, less bloating, better sleep, fewer cravings, regular digestion, or better mood. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about getting started. And yeah.
I think that the danger with creating these is that it can feel overwhelming. So like you saying that you had a 90-day check-in, no wonder you kind of gave that up because that's a lot. That to me feels like that's a lot. So it's like, what is that sweet spot between not overwhelming, but also having a system that helps you to not let people fall through the cracks or to feel like, oh, shoot, I have not checked on this person in 2 months, and then feel guilty over that. Um, so whatever it is that the system is that we're creating, it has to feel good and it has to feel simple and it has to feel sustainable, or else we're not going to use it and we're not going to pass it down to our people, and that defeats the whole purpose. Anybody else have anything with their check-in system that feels good or feels like, oh, okay, I like this little change that I am making or I'm going to make?
I will say something. I know I'm still new at it, and so I'm still learning, like all this is brand new. But with this, it's reminding me of when I was an elementary supervisor and I kept up with the teachers that were under me. And for me, I had them all in a group text, just, like nothing much, just like sometimes it's just a short encouraging word just to do that. And then if I knew a teacher who was struggling or something, I would send like an individual text, to them to kind of, if I knew a specific thing that they were struggling with or something like that. And so really I've kind of done almost the same thing. I already created a group of my people that are under me, and I've just sent like an encouraging word. Like one day I just said, "Hey, I prayed for y'all today," and just I know it's like I know I'm still learning, and it's just someone told me work smarter, not harder, and so I did like a welcome like message at the very beginning, and so like I'm going to add some. I have another VIP that's on the hopes of anyway, so when I add her, I can just say, "Hey, you can just start from the top, and this is just some info that you'll need along the way."
Well, that's a perfect segue because you're helping create community in that. Like you're having recognition, you're creating community, this culture of like giving and value adding and seeing other people. So it's a perfect segue to our very final little system that I'm hoping we can kind of tap into tonight. And that is the just like that retention experience, the community, creating that community, like what you did, Sierra. And so I want you guys to think in this one, we're not going to take the full 10 minutes because I know we're getting close to the end of our call night, but I want you to be thinking about what spaces that you could use to create community. So whether that's a text thread like Sierra was talking about, or a messenger thread, or maybe like a team page that you create. And I think that the more you can take ownership over what you're doing, the more you're going to utilize it. Because I don't know about you guys, but if I have a sponsor or somebody that's created something that she's like, hey, yeah, you can plug into this, I don't have as much buy-in. I don't know why. Maybe just because like I didn't do it and so I don't really fully know what it is, or maybe I'm being lazy. But if it's something that I create with my people, there's that ownership there that kind of creates that accountability, I think. And so I want you to be thinking through, what can you do with your current customers that can create this community? And then I really like this question on the on that right black square. What support would you want if you were a brand new customer? And then how can you make your customers feel appreciated and seen? So there are a handful of, little questions to be mindful of that I have here. So maybe just take one that you can think through tonight and focus on that. But keep in the back of your mind that question of like, how would I want to be supported? What would help me if I were getting started with this? And then you go and be the change agent for that. Like you go create that. I put together just a prompt if this is helpful for anybody, but I just threw this up. And I just said, I want to create a space for my customers too. And then, you can fill in the blank. Like, what do you want your customers to feel? So for me, I said, I want them to feel connected, celebrated, seen, cared for, supported. And I want that community and intentionality to also help them with their consistency and overall retention experience. How can I do that simply without overwhelming them or myself? Now, that's like a long, drawn out one, but you could also say to chat prompt, like, hey, these are things that I am passionate about or I feel good about. Like, like I feel like I could send over a bunch of recipes, or I've got a bunch of customers that are all from the same town. They all know each other. How do I create community here with Plexus? Or I've got a team of people from all over the country who don't know each other. How can I create community with them that helps them to feel da da da? So we're going to wrap up with this. We'll spend, what time is it? We'll spend about 7 minutes kind of brainstorming through this. If anybody has any questions, unmute yourself or ask in the chat. Thank you, Jan, so much for putting that prompt in there. Okay. I know that was fast and furious, but I think that that's hopefully going to give you a little foundation on how to create something that is simple and sustainable, that's a system that's going to leave you less overwhelmed because you have something already in place. And just a reminder, it does not have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be perfect. And like him, it doesn't need to be this 90-day thing that feels overwhelming. Your goal with what you're doing here is to give your customers this awesome experience. Your goal is to think through, how would I want to be treated as a customer? How would I want to be seen, supported, and cared for? So, charge you with all of that tonight. Whatever it is that you do with your system, just help it to be something that taps into seeing people, loving people, and is something that feels sustainable and simple for you. Thank you guys so much for hopping on tonight. Next week, Lacey, I think we decided, Lace and Joe, I think we decided no call next Friday or next Monday because that is the day that we're all heading home from convention, but we'll pick up the following week with duplication. We'll close out the month with duplication. Okay. Thank you guys so much for being on. We'll see you guys at convention. Bye, everyone.